Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to my channel for another third-party, unlicensed 1/6 scale figure unboxing and review video. Now today we are going to be taking a look at Mr. J from V5 Toys, a company that I personally have never heard of, but this is Jerome Valeska from the TV series Gotham. I was a huge fan of the early seasons, so yeah, I was pretty darn hype to pick this guy up. Now I got mine from Comic Sanctorum. I have popped the link for that in the description below for your reference purposes only. This is, once again, an unlicensed, unofficial product. This is not a promotional video, this is a review on a figure I picked up for my own personal collection. While you're down there, why not hit that subscribe and bell notification icon, plus the join button for more info on Justin's Collection Plus, the channel membership. What we are going to do now though is get the box laying flat in the light box and do the unboxing. Here of course we have the box art, and it's relatively simple. V5 Toys up top, ha ha ha, making up the smile of this Joker logo, and then a quote, "Who's the boss? I'm the boss. Mr. J down below." Mr. J on the side of the box, and then that same logo from the front is printed in a little bit of a smaller scale on the back. Now that quote, if you've seen the show Gotham, is probably already giving away which outfit we're going to be taking a look at for Jerome. Now he did have a bunch of different looks in the show, and you might be thinking, Justin, really? Pajama wearing Jerome? That's the one you decided to go with? Yeah, it definitely is. I love the scene. And this is a very neat looking figure. What we are going to do now though is get all of his accessories laid out in the light box and take a closer look at everything he comes with. Here we have all the parts and pieces. Now starting off with the display base first, it's kind of fitting that the picture up on top is Jerome from the scene that this figure is based off. Who's the boss? Jerome holding the gun, and Jerome Valeska with an etched metal nameplate up front. You also have a regular crotch grabber right up top. You do of course get his samurai sword or katana, and yes, the blade is made of real metal. It's a nice shiny chrome, and you do have a little bit of edge detail that works its way all the way down. The hilt is nicely sculpted and painted with some patina on the surface, and a wash down in the crevices for the handle itself. More importantly though, you do get Theo Galavan's gun, and it looks great. It's a nice bright chrome silver, and you do have some off-white ivory for the handle. It does have a working hammer up top, and yes, you can open up the middle section. Now, technically, if this was going to be super accurate, there should only be one bullet, because of course Jerome was playing Russian roulette. Now you could potentially paint some of those bullets so only one is visible, but as it stands out of the box, every single bullet is painted. Lastly, you do get a full array of hands, and these aren't your usual cheaper nasty third-party ones. The sculpt work is on point, there's vein work, there's skin texture, and you even have some shading on the knuckles and on the fingers. What we are going to do now though is get Jerome himself out here and take a closer look. Here we have him standing straight up and down in the light box, no crazy poses or accessories or anything like that. And I've always said that there are two types of figures. Number one, those that are toyetic. You just know when you see that character on screen, yeah, that's destined to be a toy. And number two, those that are classy. They're so realistic but relatively simple, you don't really expect to ever see a figure of that character. And that's exactly how I would describe this release. In saying that though, what they have done so well that it just clicks. It looks super realistic. The proportions are great. The outfit is very nicely done, and that head sculpt is so creepy, but it's perfect for Jerome. What we are going to do now though is take him off the rotating turntable, punch in, and take a closer look at the details. Here we have him up close and personal. Now, let's be honest, his outfit is super simple, so the head sculpt has to do almost all of the heavy lifting. And that it does. It's Jerome to a T. His smile is very devious, and depending on how you tilt the head sculpt, there is a ton of personality. It pretty much changes the expression entirely with a simple head tilt. The skin texture and paint applications are on point, and I love the way they've both sculpted and painted his hair. It's pretty much bang on to the scene that this particular figure was based off. Now, he is wearing a dressing gown over the top of his pyjama suit. The dressing gown is all padded fabric with some shoulder pads up top, and you do have a string around the front. Now, I would have liked for there to have been wires in this string, so when you tie it up, they kind of don't sit as crazy as they do now, but for me, I'm just going to leave it completely undone. Which means I'll be able to see a lot more of his pyjama suit. This is, once again, all fabric, and the print is the exact same from top to bottom. Coming down to his loafers, or slippers, they are nicely sculpted to a foot. Now, usually we'd have a foot attached to the body and then a slipper over the top, but this is one fully sculpted piece. That means you get the maximum amount of definition out of the ankle, and you still have a nicely sculpted and not overly bulky slipper. On the underside, we do have some fully sculpted in tread. Now, as I said, this is a relatively simple outfit, but when you have a figure that's as bang on, as classy, and comes with as many scene-specific accessories as this guy does, yeah, I'm one happy collector. Now, for a quick side-by-side comparison, I didn't really know who to go with, so I just grabbed the DX11. A lot of you own him, or at least have owned him at some point in the past, so this should give you a pretty good idea of how Jerome will scale in your display. Jerome is very tall, but I think that's on point. Plus, he is on a much more modern body with very, very good proportions. And I cannot get over how expressive that head sculpt is. It's creepy, it's devious, it's definitely Mr. J. Just going over articulation. Now, bear in mind, this is my personal copy of the figure, so I'm going to be a little bit more careful. I'm sure when you get yours in hand, you can push the joints slightly further than I am willing to go. Now, starting off with the head sculpt, it is on a double ball peg at the base of the head. Looking forward and back, swivel and pivot side to side. The arms will go up to there. They will go forward and back. Butterfly joint at the shoulder that also hinges up and down. Swivel at the bicep. Double bend at the elbow that does get you the full way. And then, of course, a regular 1/6 scale wrist peg. The torso will crunch forward and back, swivel and pivot side to side. The legs do go forward to there. They will go out to there, swivel at the upper thigh, double bend at the knee that does get you way past 90, and then a hinge and swivel down here for the ankle. Just wrapping up on the V5 Toys Jerome from Gotham. Now, going into this, I'd never even heard of the company, but now they are definitely on my radar. If they make any other figures from the series, I will 100% be picking them up. Now, this guy is currently my only Gotham figure, but when I opened up the box and saw how good he was, I may or may not have placed an order for the Toys Era Penguin. If you're a Gotham fan, definitely stay tuned to the channel. As for Jerome himself, starting off with the body, it's pretty much perfect. The proportions are so realistic, he literally looks like a miniaturized dude standing in my lightbox. The outfit complements it very nicely with these big broad shoulder pads on the robe, and it's all fabric, so you can pretty much do whatever you want with the posing and not have to worry about creases. The accessories are very scene specific to where we actually see this look, and the head sculpt is the icing on the cake. It's crazy, it's menacing looking, and when you tilt the head sculpt in different directions, it pretty much changes the entire intention of the expression. It can go from fun and whimsical to dark and mean, all with a subtle tilt of that head. And that for me just makes this guy so darn worth it. He's very fun to pose, and he's going to be a very imposing presence in the collection. Now, I got mine from Comic Sanctorum. Do bear in mind this is a third-party, unlicensed, unofficial product. I have popped the link in the description below for your reference purposes only. This is by no means a promotional video. This is a review on a figure I picked up for my own personal collection. While you're down there, why not hit that subscribe and bell notification icon, plus the join button for more info on Justin's Collection Plus, if you like the sound of seeing your name in the end credits of my reviews. Like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll catch you in the next video.